In this video, I'm going to share 3 money lessons that I learned in my 15 years plus entrepreneurial journey that made my financial life significantly easier. If you are a solopreneur or a small business owner and income is critical to you, you'll want to take notes. Stay tuned. Very early on in my career, I had the opportunity to work with Michael Gerber, author of The E-Myth Revisited, one of the best-selling small business books of all time. In the book, Michael stated that on average, 1 million new small businesses will be started in America every single year. Of those, 80% of them will be out of business by year 1. 80% of the remaining 20% will be gone by year 5. And in the end, only 1 to 2% of all businesses started this year will be around at the 10-year mark. Why is that, you ask? The short answer is money. Michael Gerber stated in the book that the average small business owner starts a business as a technician, and they know how to do the work really, really well. But the fatal assumption they make is that because they know how to do the work, they also know how to run a business that does the technical work. That includes how to handle money as a business owner. So there are 3 vital steps that you can take as a business owner to make sure that your business is financially viable. Step number 1, have separate personal and business bank accounts. One of the biggest mistakes I see new business owners make is they treat their business income as personal income. This looks like writing business checks to cover personal expenses, or worse yet, using the business account as your personal account, co-mingling the funds, as they say. If you're doing this, stop immediately. The reason being, if you are ever to get audited, you're screwed. As soon as you can, open up a separate business account in the name of your organization or company. This does not have to be necessarily under an LLC. You can easily go to a bank or a credit union and set up an account under a sole proprietorship. But the key here is that it is separate. It is a separate account for all business transactions, income and expenses. And the best bet, again, is go to a local bank or a local credit union, somewhere where they're very friendly to small business owners. Step number 2, remember that cash flow is king, and ideally steady and predictable cash flow. Steady and predictable are 2 of the best kinds of cash flow, although automatic and passive are pretty freaking awesome too. The first thing to do in your new business is to determine how much you'll need to clear every single month in order to cover your expenses. Now, this is both business expenses and personal expenses. In fact, the clearer you are on this number, the easier it is to begin setting goals and targets for sales and that predictable, consistent cash flow. In fact, before you ever leave your job, consider what your leap number is. That is, how much money should your business be making before you actually leave the job and go pursue that business full-time. Just like a job that pays you a certain amount, your business should too. When I first started out in public speaking and consulting, there were up and down months, and my wife was exceptionally frustrated at the lack of predictable, consistent cash flow. But everything got sorted out when we had one fateful conversation. I simply asked my wife, how much do I need to pay us every single month in order to help you sleep easily at night? Her answer was $3,000. If you can put $3,000 in the account, everything will take care of itself. Ideally more, but $3,000 will make everything work. So I made a commitment that I would find at least $3,000 in engagements every single month to cover the nut at home. Now, keep in mind, I had about $2,000 in business expenses. So the real goal was $5,000 a month in revenue on an ongoing, consistent basis. That was my foundation. Step number 3 is open a business line of credit. Sometimes called a cash flow line of credit, a business line of credit that is attached to your company can help you weather some of the lean cash flow months and help you weather some of the financial storms like slow pay clients, unforeseen expenses, tax payments, and maybe even some of the growth expenses that come from hiring additional help or buying the materials or the equipment that you most need. The very first time I heard about one of these, I walked into my bank, I sat down with a private banker, and I asked her, would it be possible for me to get a cash flow line of credit, just a BLOC, a business line of credit? She asked me, what is it for? And I said, for cash flow ups and downs, for slow pay clients, just basically to weather 2 weeks to 4 weeks, maybe even 6 of cash flow issues that I have in the business. With zero credit check, I walked out of that bank with a $40,000 line of credit. Now, I had no credit check, mainly because of the amount of time that I'd had that account. So if you are looking to start a business line of credit, make sure you're checking in with your banker about what it will take to open a BLOC, a business line of credit, or a cash flow line of credit, and do those necessary steps accordingly. Once I had the cash flow line of credit established, I never worried about those lean cash flow months, because if it wasn't in the business checking account, I would just leverage the line of credit to cover the $3,000 that was needed at home, and maybe even the $2,000 that was needed for my business expenses. I knew full well that within the next 60 to 90 days, I would fill back in that line of credit, or I would work like hell to make sure it was. So there you have it, 3 tips. Number 1, have separate business and personal accounts. Cannot accentuate that enough. Number 2, work on steady and predictable cash flow right from day 1. It'll make your life at home and at work so much easier. And number 3, to protect in those lean months, make sure you open a business line of credit or a cash flow line of credit at your local bank or credit union. That will make life imminently easier. And to give you just a little bit of a mental boost, hang in there. You're gonna be all right. If you fight for your business and you get really good at the money side, you will make that 5 and 10 year and maybe even 20-year anniversary. Or heck, just sell the thing for as much blue sky as humanly possible. If you like this video, jam on the like button, leave a comment down below about your business and maybe some of the challenges you have, and we'll turn those into a video down the road on Mastery of Money. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the other side.